it's a lot to cope with physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm just wondering, in those instances, like, how do you seek refuge? Like, what do you do to cope with these instances? Because I'm sure not to hear about it on the news, to be bombarded with the imagery every day, I'm sure it's like traumatizing. But like, how do you cope with that sort of thing?
I think this is a lot of where mental health comes in, which is really important, especially for the AAPI community, because it's very stigmatized. It's stigmatized already in the Western world, but it is on another level within the AAPI community. It's just, it doesn't exist. It's not a real thing unless you have any sort of physical symptoms where it's like you have schizophrenia or you have autism. It's not recognized at all. Being depressed and having anxiety, that's not real to a lot of Asian parents. It's just, oh, you're lazy. Oh, you just need to do things to take your mind off it. No, I think especially if you're a person of color in this country and you just see these different things on the news that are traumatizing, it's important to practice self-care. It's okay to take a break, take a step back and say, listen, I need to prioritize myself right now. I'm going to do things that bring me joy, and take however long as you need to take that break and build yourself back up again, and then you can join the movement again. It's a lot of work, and you have to be kind to yourself. I think people need to realize that, yes, we do have a job to do, but at the same time, we can't do it unless we're at our full potential.
That's such a great point, because I actually in the previous episode of CUNY Uncut, when I was talking to Tim and Genebu about their BLM activism, they said a very similar thing, because I feel like there's a sense of guilt that a lot of activists feel when they're feeling fatigued and they need to like take a break. So I think it's what you said is super important, just a matter of like being kind to yourself, taking the break when you need to take that break, that sort of thing. But for you both personally, like what coping mechanisms do you utilize to deal with the stress associated with the discrimination?
Should I talk?
You can go, yeah.
Well, first off, I go to therapy, because let's destigmatize mental health.
Yeah.
Everyone should get therapy. I think it's great. It's awesome. Anyways, yeah, I go to a therapist. I talk to her about different issues, but also look for support systems that you trust. So it doesn't have to even be friends or family. It could also be a professor in your life. Maybe if you're in sports, like a coach, but just any person you trust, anyone you feel willing to share these types of thoughts with, anyone that you know is going to give you a 100% safe space. And just like, I like to cook, and by cook, I mean air fry a lot of my food, because God forbid I cook anything in the kitchen. My mother throws a tantrum because she is terrified I'm going to burn our house down. But yes, I also like photography and music. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I love taking my time on Spotify. Sometimes I like to meditate and just listen to Spotify. I used to have a therapist during the pandemic, but it's kind of expensive. But, I do agree getting a therapist, mental health, it's real, it's happening, as well as sleep. I think sleep is such a sign of defiance, because it's just like, no, I will not be working from 24 hours a day to fulfill my needs. I'm going to achieve it regardless of no matter what I do, and positive affirmations. There is something with it's like it has a chokehold on you that the moment you start really saying these affirmations, the moment you'll see real change. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I like to do, sleep, positive affirmations, as well as, journal, or if you have somebody, check up on your friends, of course, see how they're doing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. As well as just living in the moment, just turning off anything, really understanding what's going on around you and stuff like that, because that can really bring you onto wow, I'm here, this is happening, today is going to be great, I'm alive, just really, so you'll start to appreciate the basic things in life. And I feel like that just really helps you push through.
For sure. And I feel like self-care in and of itself is an inherently revolutionary act. If you think about it, like it's anti-capitalist because you're like, I'm not going to be another cog in the machine. I'm going to put myself first. And also in regards to positive affirmations, that's enough. I feel like that in and of itself is revolutionary because I feel like society teaches us to self-deprecate ourselves, especially as women of color. Like it's like we're always subliminally taught to be self-deprecating. And I think pushing back against that is super important.